You are listening to CrossTalk, a safe place to discuss addiction, recovery, harm reduction, and everything in between. Support for this podcast comes from the Kentucky Opioid Response Effort and Advocates of Recovery. Content and production by the team at Turning Point Recovery Community Center. Now, buckle up and get ready for the show.
Welcome everyone to CrossTalk Recovery, the recovery podcast that supports all forms of recovery. I'm Matt Lewis, and I'm here with
Billy Hall.
Billy Hall.
Yeah.
This is going to be an intimate conversation with Billy Hall, getting to know each other, so to speak, because Billy is the newest member at Turning Point, and anyone who watches the podcast knows that when we get a new employee and they survive the first couple weeks, I force them to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
To introduce them to our audience, and because not many people have done a podcast, so hopefully you'll find this experience fun, because that's what it's meant to be.
Absolutely.
That's what it's become for me. I have fun doing this. And other than that, I don't really know you, because I know that you came through. Here's what I know.
Okay.
I know that you came through Centerpoint. I know that you peer mentored.
Yep.
I know that you volunteered down here to help us out a bunch, but you were always doing it on nights when I'm not here, so I didn't get to know you then when you were down here filling in for people. But that you enjoyed it, and everyone who worked with you seemed to like you. And then...
That's what I hear.
Yeah. So far.
Yeah,
good.
so far.
Yeah. I know that Nathan loves your shirts. Okay. I know that you apparently have a green thumb.
Yeah.
I know that you mumble.
Yeah.
Hopefully we won't mumble too bad today.
I'm going to try not to.
But I don't know really your story of how, your pathway and through the madness and to Centerpoint, and what inspired you to want to stay and peer mentor and work in recovery. And those are things I need to know.
Okay.
And our audience needs to know. So, tell me about yourself. Who are you, Billy Hall?
Well, first off, my real name's William, but I always go by Billy. Well, my mama called me that, so I won't ever stop being called Billy. Other than that, I didn't want to actually be part of this for years. I didn't want really much of anything.
Part of this as in recovery?
Yeah, I did. Mama, when she passed and everything, I kind of gave up on life and things like that. And I didn't want to be one of those people that if I did recover or something like that, because I remember looking at people that were in recovery that were, to me, they were boring. They were boring individuals, because all they ever talked about was AA or NA, or if you talked to a preacher, it was always, something like that. So, and I just looked at them as being boring, uninteresting. And I thought, well, why would anybody want to live that way? Well, kind of find out they actually have a life, a good life. They get cleaned up, they, start trying to help other people, and it's not just recovery, it's, a life of, being able to go fishing with their, family and friends.
I had the similar, trying to relate to here, I had the similar viewpoint. Like, I thought recovery was going to be boring, and what's the point? I'd be bored, and then I would just relapse anyway, so why even start? And that was an excuse I used not to get sober for years. And, but recovery is anything but boring.
Exactly.
And it's more about living a life worth living, instead of just merely existing and struggling and, the highs and the lows, and just trying to scrape out some kind of existence. Now, like, for me, being in recovery, it's like I have purpose, I have joy in my heart, I have, I'm trying to spread positivity everywhere I go, as opposed to just the tornado that we used to be. But so, yeah, I understand.
Oh, yeah. It's like when I first got to Center Point, I had just made parole, and I had to go to Center Point and all that. And I'd already been in recovery before. It wasn't for me. I kept hearing all about, certain parts of the AA books, and I was like, nah, I ain't going to do it. And I would leave. Well, I got to Center Point, I thought, well, I've only got a little bit of time before, I'm free of everything.
Well, hold on. Let's back up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you just jumped through, I didn't want to be in recovery, and I got to Center Point. What were you doing out there? They got you locked up. What was your drug of choice?
Oh, yeah, we can go there.
Yeah, I need to know who you are. You
know? Well, for years I was an extreme alcoholic. Well, I started out slow. It was about my teenage years. I was, mostly just drinking. And, there would be the parties, you would experiment. But I never really did anything as far as hard drugs until I was in my late 30s, mid to late 30s. It's about the time my daughter grew up, moved out. My other daughter was with her mother. And I didn't have any responsibility other than myself. I started being a parent at a young age, so I tried to, other than drinking, I really tried not to do much of nothing. But I went
How
right
many
off the
kids
rails.
you got?
I got 2 daughters.
2 daughters?
Yep. And I did a pretty good job with them, especially my oldest daughter says that all the time. If it wasn't for me, she wouldn't be where she is today, which, she runs her own company. She got a husband, 6 kids, counting his too. And she's doing pretty good. She had kind of went off the rails for a little while, but, she's, seen where her things get, so she straightened up. And I kind of used that a little bit to, I got to thinking about all that and used that a little bit to sit there and try to help myself. But before that, I ended up, I got to manufacturing and using pills and meth, and I just went completely off the rails. I was actually selling drugs and all that for just a little over a year, and I got myself, caught up with a manufacturing charge. I went through jail for like 3 weeks, and I found a way to get out, like drug court. I was like, yeah, I'll take it, knowing I had no intention of doing anything. I just wanted to get out of jail. 8 days later, got another charge. Got another 10 years added to the sentence I already had. Yeah.
What, 8 days into drug court?
Yeah.
You caught another 10-year sentence?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So basically the second one violated everything done with the drug court and the plea agreement I'd already taken, so off to prison I went. I spent 5 flat years before I got out the first time. I wasn't out not even 3 months, and got myself put back in for another 2.5 years. In the process, caught another, felony, which got dropped to a misdemeanor, thank God. But as I was getting out for that, Mom had already passed, and I kind of, once I got home, I took it really hard. Mom was not there no more. Found out my oldest brother that had been living with her hadn't been, doing right, and pretty much I used that as an excuse to go right back to what I was doing. So within just about 5 months, I'm violating my parole and I'm back on the run again. So then I go right back to jail, which I then got transferred to prison, and I think I went to a halfway house for about 5 months. They paroled me out again to that program. And that's where I stuck about 3 weeks and walked off. It wasn't for me. It was, I was an outcast because of my religious beliefs, things like that. And
Which are?
Odinism. I converted over to Odinism back 2013. So, and because I wouldn't say certain things in certain ways, people didn't like it, and I didn't I wasn't going to argue with him. That's not part of my religion. We don't argue about things. It is what it is, and I'm not going to push it on nobody. Not like that, so. But when I leave there, I was out for 3 weeks, got another charge. That was up in another state. That was up in Indiana. When they picked me up, it was actually, when I caught the charges, they picked me up on the violation of my parole, And I go to jail, and of course, in the process, I had, paraphernalia on me, and when you go into a jail with that on you, it's another felony.
Right.
Yeah. I went through that, got basically told I'd have probation, but after I completed my parole here. They shipped me back down here, and I sat in jail for like almost a year before they moved me here at Center Point.
McCracken?
Yeah, no, I got lucky. It was Owensboro.
Okay.
Well, not much better, but I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, they took their time getting me moved, but it was kind of like, well, actually, I went from Owensboro jail to which is Davis County, to the Rotary. Sat there for a few months until they got me to Center Point.
We'll be right back.
Hey y'all, did you know it's illegal to own just one guinea pig in Switzerland because they get lonely? Here at Turning Point, we don't want you to ever be lonely either. That's why we're open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Always feel free to come hang with our friendly staff, and don't forget your guinea pig. We're located at 415 Broadway Street, downtown Paducah.
One thing I have always wondered is who put the alphabet in alphabetical order. At Turning Point, our goal is to help you put your life back in order. If you struggle or have struggled with substance use disorder and are in need of help, come see us at 415 Broadway Street, Paducah, Kentucky, or call 270-444-3621 and sign up for peer support services with one of our friendly staff who have lived experience with addiction. Hope to see you soon.
And like I said, when I got to Center Point, I still not wanting none of this.
Yeah?
Yeah. I got there April 13th with the intentions of sticking around about a couple months till my MRS date, which was releasing me from a lot of things, kind of have to let you go.
All right.
I had the mindset of I didn't want to do any meth or any pain pills or nothing like that. But I was going to drink. I didn't think I had a problem.
See that a lot.
Yeah. I wasn't an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a problem with drugs. That was my problem. Yeah.
That was the one thing I was thankful for when I was in there, that I knew I was an alcoholic and a drug addict. I mean, I was a daily drinker and a heroin addict, and so I didn't have that excuse, and that I'm grateful for that, because it might not have. I probably would have used it if I could have. I don't really drink that much, so I could probably successfully drink.
Oh no, I drank a lot when I did drink. The thing is, I knew that every so often I would stop.
Yeah.
Either I'd gotten way too drunk, got to feeling really bad, had to go to the hospital because I thought I was dying of a heart attack, or I lost my job. And I didn't have the money to sit there and be drinking, so I'd have to wait till I got another job. So there was little breaks there. I had control. Yeah. Wrong. That's not even close to being right. And being at Center Point, I decided I'm going to at least listen, because somebody suggested it. At least while you're here, listen to it. Just, you don't have to really do a whole lot of anything. Just kind of listen and go with it. So I did. And as more time went by, the more I noticed, certain things. I noticed speakers that would show up, to, meetings there at Center Point. And I'd come here to Turning Point, talk to people. Got to where I started actually speaking at the meetings in a little bit. And figured out that an alcoholic's not what I had pictured. My picture was, the people you see on the side of the streets, living in grocery carts and all that. And no, an alcoholic is somebody who basically doesn't have control. of any, you try to take control of everything, but every time you turn around, you're losing something. And I was finding myself in almost every story somebody kept telling, at least part of it. And it was like, it started making sense. I was like, I've done that. Next person show up, well, hell, I did that too.
Right.
But somewhere around my second step, going into my third, is where I ended up having what they kept talking about, a spiritual experience. And it was, for me, it was a vision of what was going to happen, in my life due to my drinking. And, still the drugs I knew was a problem, so I knew that part, but my drinking was something that had always done. And the problem my daughter had been dealing with alcohol. And I remember, I ain't gonna mention names, but I remember a speaker going on about losing his wife, going soon to be wife. And then another one came in the very next day, and it was teaching class, talking about how he lost his daughter. And then I called my daughter up, and she had told me, and this after about 2 years of her, staying clean and everything, that she had went out with her husband, and they were celebrating their anniversary, and that she had had a margarita, which for some, it normally would have never scared me, never bothered me or nothing like that, but this for some reason had really hit me. It had bothered me severely bad. So I went out, I was praying, for them, to please watch over her, try to keep her safe and all that. And then, like I said, it was kind of like a vision that hit me. It was a video that I kept seeing of me going back out, leaving the program, going out and picking up, my drinking, and seeing my daughter going to her house for some reason, and next thing you know, because I'm drinking, and she has never drank with me, especially as an adult or anything else, we went out. The video went on for a few more moments. We're sitting there, toasting drinks, and it went from that to me on my knees, holding my daughter in my arms, and she wasn't there no more. And it made me believe that due to my actions, I would cause the death of my own daughter, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
So that was a prayer that I kept praying for quite a bit, that if I will do whatever it takes never to do this again, and to please stop the videos. Don't let this happen to my kid. Don't let me do this. And I meant it. I meant it from the deepest parts of my soul that I don't want to do this. And they blessed me with stopping the video, but they have never let it go. I'll still have a flash from time to time, like if I had that urge or get to talk too deeply about it. I don't remember it. So
it's funny that you said vision and then you said the videos, because I know you talk about play the tape ahead, as we hear a lot. I heard a lot coming through Centerpoint.
Oh, yeah.
Like thinking, where could this take me? And that's probably one of the worst case scenarios. But if it gave you the motivation that you needed to, maybe that would have never happened. But why even? Yeah, why even test it? You know that it won't happen if you aren't drinking. And trying to do right by her, by yourself. It's so important to think, where could this, because that was the thing that I don't think I ever did in the madness, was think about the repercussions of my actions or what they were going to be. I just dealt with them as they come, or I didn't care how it hurt myself or others, and to now think, where is this going to take me ultimately? How could this, that pause when agitated or doubtful.
Exactly.
It's so important.
Yeah, them saying always play the tape through and all that. That was pretty much it. It was like, and I did. I was like you on that for years. I didn't. I thought, who else am I? Who am I hurting but me? yeah, I might have to call somebody to bail me out because of something like that. But I didn't hurt them.
Right.
But I did. I was hurting them more ways than I'd ever known. And I just couldn't see it. Once all that happened and I buckled down and started actually working the program, working the steps, I seen a lot more. You know, I started noticing things I was like 10 times more every time I opened the book, every time I, participated in a class or anything. I just started, noticing other people, seeing how it's affecting them, the things that they're saying are affecting me. I started getting feelings back that I didn't think I'd ever had. I'm a big baby. Yeah. I used to think I was, tough, and which, we're all tough, but I was like supposedly hard. No, I'll cry over kittens anymore.
Yeah.
But that's one of the great things about it. Getting my feelings back and being able to, have empathy and sympathy and all the things I didn't have, in the madness and being in prison and all that. I've gotten back, all those promises they keep talking about. And it's not like I'm, trying to force any of it. It's like it's happening. I pray every morning. I read my big book. I even read some of the NA book every morning. I have 2 hours every morning to sit there and meditate, read, pray, do all that. And one of the things I always ask is help me to help somebody else. That's all I ever ask for. And next thing you know, I'm being called for a job. And I'm over here helping people get bags together, help kids out,
Yeah.
setting up for a recovery walk, all these things that I actually enjoy doing, I'm getting to do. I would have never done it any other way.
Yeah.
In the madness, I would have been gone. It would have been like, I'll get something else. I'll do something else. But I truly enjoyed doing all this. The meetings when we're chairing them, I enjoy talking to the people and sharing my experience with them. It's kind of floored a couple of them, but, they understand that they're not alone.
Right.
And that actually is something that, one of the reasons why I keep doing it. When I peer mentored there at Center Point, I knew what I got out of it, and I'm no big book thumper or nothing like that. I've read the book a couple times. I study it. And all I do is try to pass that knowledge to them. I don't sit there and preach at them. I don't nothing like that. And I'd walk into a room to go teach the class, and it's like they're excited to see me. Of course, we're a bunch of grown kids, so I mean.
Yeah, it's true.
But I always made recovery fun. That's what we was taught, and that's what I've learned. It's just if you want to do it, have fun doing it. So I do.
It's good.
It's possible.
So where are you from originally? Like, where's all your family at?
I'm originally born up in Anderson, Indiana, 1974. So yeah, I'm the oldest one at Turning Point.
Yeah, that is nice. That Amanda had me by a couple months, but now
I've got y'all by a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. She informed me about that when I was like, oh, great. Yeah, I didn't know Sam was his age. I was like, I have got you beat by 8 years. How is that even possible?
Sam and Nathan just look really old.
I know. I'm like, how's this possible? I mean, y'all look older than me. Yeah.
I mean, especially Nathan. He's like 32, 33.
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking he was older than that. Definitely thought he was older.
I know. He looks like he's 50. We'll be right back.
Hello, everybody. You want to know something? My biggest issue with meetings is, despite their name, they're never about me. Here at Turning Point, all of our meetings are for you and about you. We have meetings at least 3 times a day, 7 days a week. We are located at 415 Broadway, Paducah, Kentucky. Call 270-444-3621 for more information.
Did you know that recovery from substance use disorder and mental health go hand in hand? That is why the caring and compassionate mental health professionals at Four Rivers Behavioral Health in Paducah are here to help you find your balance. They are proud of you for making the changes necessary to live a healthier life and would love to see you reach your full potential. Give them a call at 270-442-7121 or stop by the downtown location at 425 Broadway in Paducah, Kentucky.
That's great.
Nice.
But that's good, man, because I'm glad we did this, because I actually relate to you on a lot of that, you know, just being done, having that spiritual experience. I also do a daily prayer and meditation, trying to give back, and I also find it fun working in recovery and doing all the things that we do. I feel like, I also have read the big book a few times, and I don't beat people over the head with it. I believe in God, Jesus Christ, and I don't thump people over the head with the Bible either. I try to lead by example,
Absolutely.
and experience strength and hope. What works for me, I know it could work for you, but you have to find what works for you.
Oh, yeah.
And so I get that. I relate to you on that. I'm glad we were able to have this conversation, man. So how long do you think you're gonna work
Stick around.
here?
Well, on that one, I always when it comes to something new, I used to do this before, and this time I play, knowing that I got a better control over things, I plan on start with a year, and then I'll go from there.
That's what I said too.
And you've been
I
here.
said, almost 3 years. But I said, I'll work there a year, get a little experience. Then I'm going to take my peer sport somewhere else where they'll pay me good.
Yeah, give you a paycheck.
Almost 3 years. But, I love it because you don't do this job for the money.
Oh, no.
No.
And I quit worrying about money.
Yeah, and you do it because you have a passion for it to help others, and because it helps you, It keeps me sober. I learn a lot working here, and it keeps me involved. And it's definitely never a dull moment around here.
No.
So
No,
if you're worried, like we talked about earlier, if you're worried about being bored,
No.
it's always something going on.
Yeah, I've had some of the guys from Center Point show up and be like, so what do you do, just sit around all day? I said, you have no idea.
Strangely, when I first started here, there was a lot of that. But we were just starting to build this place, and now, recovery, you're going to get some interesting characters.
No, that too.
But we've come such a far way. We've come so far in the last couple of years as far as new programs and our outreach and everything that we're involved with in the community, and it's just now there's not much sitting around.
No.
It's go go go.
No.
So, and that's the way I like it.
Well, yeah, get your days to go by. You're helping people.
Yeah.
That's one of the things. I became a peer mentor to try to test the waters on it, and what really drove it home for me was one of the guys I was in the program with. I was teaching a class, and the serenity prayer that we do every day. We were sitting there. The class is basically going over the courage to change the things I can and all. And even though he had been in the program for 5 months, it just hit him every bit of what that prayer meant. Because we're taking the time to break it down a little bit, grabbing the serenity, and he was like, "That's about me." He said, "Changing what about me, not changing other people or changing." He said, "Change what's in me to be able to accept what's going on, what I can and cannot do." I'm like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And ever since then, he graduated the program since then, and he's an extremely major help to the community. Helps people at Center Point all the time, and he's a really good guy. Before he always had it in his head about to leave every time he turned around because had trouble with the God piece, and he had trouble with understanding things. And it just wasn't sinking in. But that light came on, and I love seeing that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when you see the light come on and it and the person and just the reaction to everything, it's a feeling that you really can't describe. It's you know you didn't do it by yourself, but you know you were part of it, and that's what keeps me going doing it. I mean, it really is. It's a good feeling. I've always liked helping people, but this time it's for them. Not,
right.
I'm not doing it for hidden agendas.
Right. You benefit from it.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, there's spiritual rewards behind helping people. There's, you feel good, but it's not like a prideful, egotistical, like, look at what I've done. It's like, you're doing this for the right reasons for a change. Like I used to tell people, I was the kind of person who would stand in a room when no one was in it, waiting for someone to come in to notice me cleaning something or doing something. There was no point in doing it if no one was going to say, hey, good job.
Pat you on the back.
Which is such a ridiculous way to be. I look back and imagine myself standing in that living room just waiting for someone to walk in.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah, it really is.
Now I prefer no one to see it. I'm not looking for the congratulations or
Attaboy
way to go,
stuff.
boy. Yeah, none of that. Just knowing myself that I'm doing it for the right reasons is enough, and that's coming a long way for me.
Oh yeah. I was the same way on that because I'd done it at. I spent a little bit of time at Two Rivers up in Covington before it shut down.
Yeah.
And I remember getting high there, and I went down. I'm doing this for the community, which was a little crap. But I went down, and it's like I took the kitchen and completely bleached it and cleaned it and pulled the things out, everything out by myself. When normally a crew goes in to do it.
Yeah.
Took me hours to do it. Pouring sweat. But I'm high. But I was acting like I was doing it for everybody else. But at the end, it was like people were praising me, and I kept getting this big old swelled head on me. I didn't see it then, but then when I got thinking about it, I was like, I didn't do that for me at all. I didn't do it for them or anything else. I did that for me,
Yeah.
And it was stupid. It's not stuff that I try to think about going back and changing. I change it now. I don't do those things to, try to get an attaboy or nothing like that. I have no problem volunteering to help people, but I do that because it's just the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't. People are gonna notice the things that you do. You can't avoid that. It's all about your mentality behind doing it, and I think that it's good for people to notice you're trying to help people because it sets an example of to other guys. Like it is about service work and giving back and helping people. This is recovery is a ladder. We're always trying to help the person behind us up the ladder, and that's one of the beautiful things about it. It's all just about your motivation behind it. So.
Yeah, it's like volunteering to help somebody, cross the street, and that's somebody seeing you do it might encourage them to do something good for somebody. It's passing it on either way.
Yeah,
I see it, and I want to mimic it a lot of times. So I kind of look at it like that from time to time. I know if I do something good, somebody else might do something good too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what we want the world to be like, but it's, we can work for it, but don't mean it's always going to happen.
No, but, all we're responsible for is our part,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I can't make a difference attitude.
Yes, we can.
No one makes it. You're not going to make a difference with that attitude. You got to do what you can, and you're like, we talk about the hula hoop and the bubble and all these things that you can control and in your area. But if you're not taking care of your bubble or your hula hoop and what's right outside there and the people around you, then no difference will be made. But at least all you can do is do what's right. Put out that positivity. Try to affect people positively and change things you can right around you, and that spreads. We don't even know how far it spreads. The ripple effect.
Yeah, like a pebble in a pond.
Exactly.
It's you don't know how far that'll go.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
It most definitely is.
All right, Billy. Well, I appreciate you coming on here and doing this. You know,
It was fun.
it was fun. Yeah, it wasn't bad at all. And I might do more of these intimate conversations with guests and get to know them. You know, because like we still don't work a lot of the same shifts. So
No, I'm usually 3 to 11, or 3 to 8. You're in the mornings,
yeah,
and you're busy.
yeah.
You're constantly busy. You're
I
constantly.
try to stay going. Try to stay out of the office.
Yeah.
All right, well, check us out on YouTube or listen to our audio versions on Apple, Google, Spotify, Podbean, Amazon Music. And as always, stay grateful.
Absolutely.
If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction or in recovery and needs guidance, speak with Turning Point's team of peer support specialists by calling 270-444-3621. You are not alone, and we are proof that recovery is possible.